Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for episode 2 on the Financial Freedom channel. Thanks for coming back. Today I'm going to be sharing something very exciting. I'm going to be talking about how I pick winning stocks. So just to give you some background, I bought shares in a company called Fiat Chrysler back in mid-December of 2016. So I put about $2,500 into that company. Today, February 24th, 2018, those shares are worth $6,418. So that's 2.5 times my money in 14 months. Now, just to give some perspective on that for those of you who don't really know how to think about how good of a return that is. So if I were to double my money every year for 10 years. So with this stock, I've essentially doubled my money in a year, 2.5 times in 14 months. So if I doubled my money every year for 10 years, say I start with $1,000. In 10 years, if I go 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 8,000 for 10 years, I'm gonna have over $1 million. So getting 2.5 times return in 14 months is an insane return. So this isn't normal return. This is a bit of an outlier, but I want to talk about why I was willing to invest $2,500 in this company back in mid-December of 2016. So how do I find winning stocks? The first step is to find an investor with a remarkable track record that you can shamelessly clone. So I found this guy, his name is Mohnish Pabrai. He's down in Southern California. And he has achieved returns of about 25 to 30% per year for the last 23 years. Okay. Now at 25%, you're going to double your money about every 3 years. So that's really his goal. When he's looking at companies, he wants to find a company where he can put 50 cents down today and collect $1 in about 2 to 3 years. That's how he makes his investment decisions. So cool thing about this guy, since he has a fund with over $1 million invested, every quarter, he has to disclose what his holdings are through what's called a 13F filing. So, every quarter, I can pull up his 13F and see if he's bought or sold anything. So that's really how I found Fiat Chrysler. I was looking at his 13F. So, Mohnish just added Fiat Chrysler to his portfolio. Let me dig into this. So I went and I estimated, so you have to go, the 13F filing comes out, about a month and a half after the last quarter. So essentially what you're looking at is, for the 13F, it's going to show what that investor did anywhere between a month and a half ago to 4.5 months ago. So I was able to see, I was able to look at the price of Fiat between 1.5 months ago and 4.5 months ago, just try to get a sense, okay, at what price did he buy in at? And is the price today comparable to that? If it is, might be a good investment. So that's how I found Fiat. 2.5x in 14 months. I'm pretty excited about that. Planning on holding on to it, just like Pabrai, until early 2019. He's expecting, the price to be somewhere around $30 per share by early 2019. So that would give me a return of about 3.5x, something like that. So that's how I find winning stocks. I look at what this guy Pabrai is doing and decide, okay, is there enough here for me to be confident that this is a good investment? Or do I want to wait until, he buys the next thing? And I can see that in his 13F filing. So the other cool thing about Pabrai, so he wrote a book called The Dando Investor. And it's a fantastic book. The subtitle is The Low Risk Value Method to High Returns. And he has a motto. His motto is, heads I win, tails I don't lose much. So he's really looking for companies where there's a high upside potential and minimal downside potential. So there's an asymmetric upside to downside profile. And I really like that. Obviously that's a low risk way to go about chasing kind of a high return company. So that's the first thing I would suggest. Find an investor who's had a great track record, who you can actually see what they're doing through the 13F filing, and find winning picks that way. Another thing I want to say about Pabrai, every year he does a couple lectures at business schools around the world, and he makes those available on YouTube. So, I watch those every time they come out. One of the best ways to learn how to become a better investor, how to become a quite proficient investor, is go to Mohnish Pabrai's YouTube channel. I'll link it below, and check out his lectures. He had 2 come out in the fall of 2017. I would watch both of those. They're 2 hours to 2.5 hours each. Pick a Saturday or Sunday and just spend a couple hours, a couple consecutive weekends, and you'll learn a ton. You'll absolutely learn a ton, and it's all fantastic stuff. So that's the number one thing I would do. Forget the book, go right to YouTube. These lectures are fantastic. The second thing that's critical in achieving, great returns, picking stocks, is you have to be extremely patient. So I'd say the number one reason that stock investors lose money is they're too active. Like they get pulled along with when everybody's buying, when the market's going up. Like they're like, oh, I should buy now. It's their decisions are emotionally driven. Do not fall into that trap. The more active you are buying, selling, jumping on the next hot idea, selling when things get crazy, the worse you're going to do as a stock market investor. It is not a recipe for success. The last time that Pabrai bought something in his U.S. stock portfolio was 1.5 years ago. So, oh man, every 3 months, every quarter, I get really excited. Like to pull up his 13F to see, okay, did he buy anything? Did he sell anything? It's like Christmas morning. I'm a total nerd, but it's really exciting. And the last 5 13Fs, he hasn't done anything. So it's like, oh, come on, Mohnish, come on, do something. I want to buy, And he's training me to have extreme patience. One of the things he says is, if you like watching paint dry, investing is for you. And that's really hard, but I think it's fantastic advice. So anyway, that's kind of my tip on how to get started investing in stocks. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'll do my best to answer it. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.